the Trijicon MRO Patrol. Let's check it out. Today we're taking a look at the Trijicon MRO, and this is the Patrol model. There's some features that they've added to this optic. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to compare it to the standard MRO. But the MRO to me is one of the best red dot sights out on the market. Trijicon is well known for its really superior optics. Not only the glass that is really crystal clear, but also just the ruggedness of the housings. They have had a lot of combat experience, especially with the ACOG, which is the standard optic issued to the U.S. Marine Corps. This is the Trijicon MRO Patrol. Now, we've done a previous review on the standard MRO, and there are some advancements that have gone into this, mostly with accessories. There's not a lot been done to the optic itself. This is one of the best red dot options on the market, and it does compete very well with the Aimpoint T1 and T2. Now, one of the standard features of the Patrol is the QR mount, or quick release mount. It's a little knob, and you just turn it to loosen up the tension. Then you press it, and it pulls right off. One of the great things about this sight is that it will return to zero when you remount it. The knob's really easy to get to, but yet it's not too obtrusive. And then, of course, it's spring-loaded, so you can attach it to your Picatinny rail, and then you can just tighten it down by hand. It is skeletonized, and of course it's made from aluminum, really strong, and it gets you that 1/3 co-witness, which to me is ideal. The only great thing about different mounting options, especially with a red dot, is if you're mounting this on an AK-47, you want to get this low, and this is a Krebs custom with the mount that actually replaces the sight. And you can just mount it very low, or even if you have a side rail, you can mount them lower, and that's one of the great things with the lower sight. And this optic is right at home on the AK-47 in this configuration. And I've been a big fan of the standard MRO, but I was wanting to really check out some of the features that were coming with the Patrol, and also to do a review on it. I got in touch with Brownells, and they sent this for this test and evaluation, and I really appreciate them sending it. And I'll have the link down below to this optic with the Brownells link. Now, MRO stands for Miniature Rifle Optic. It's a 1x25mm sight. The weight on this is about 5.1 ounces. Now, here we have the original MRO, and then, of course, the MRO Patrol. It looks a lot larger, but most of that is with these caps, and these are really solid flip-up caps. You can position them whatever way you want to, but they do flip out really nicely. Another thing is we have the kill flash, and this is the ARD kill flash. This helps not only with reflection from someone looking in, but it also keeps glare down. But these can be removed pretty easily. In fact, they just screw on and off. These are pretty high quality caps, and this will protect obviously your lens. Now, one of the things about this, they've got it to where these fingers are holding it into place. It does rotate, and we are going to take it off, but I just wanted to show you that to do that you've got to pry this loose. One thing that's been added is this metal ring here and here to accept your flip covers, and these are permanently attached, whereas here you can see that they're not present on the standard MRO. This actually gives you a lot of security with your mount, so you don't have to worry about these flip covers coming off. Now, the kill flash can be removed and used separately outside of the flip covers as well. And here is the ARD kill flash. It just screws right in. Gives it a little more length if you want to leave off your flip covers. One thing about the kill flash though is it does darken the lens just a little bit. And obviously that's just the way it's going to be because it is shading the reflection. But it doesn't really hinder it a lot. I've seen some kill flashes that really darken the lens. This is not that bad in bright sunlight. But again, you can remove this pretty easily. Now, the glass is somewhat angled downward just a little bit, and that will also help keep down reflection, but that was also present with the original MRO. One thing that this metal sleeve does also is it helps protect your lens even more. There's a pretty good protection around it already, but this just gives you that added protection. And obviously with that metal ring, it's also going to help with the objective lens as well. Now these are multi-coated and they are really crisp, clear glass. They are fog proof, they are waterproof down to 100 meters. Everything is sealed. I mean, it's just your standard Trijicon quality. Now it does have that really cool black anodized finish that Trijicon's known for, and which you see a lot of times on the ACOG. These are very durable, and these can withstand a lot of abuse. Plus, they just look cool. The rear flip covers, you can see the small teeth that fit over the ring. It is a little more difficult to pop off, but not too bad to pop back on. I just got a hold of it and pulled it, and then it pulled right off. But they are on there strong, and I like that. You're not going to lose them in the field as easy. But just a good compact size, and yet there's a lot of capabilities. The body is made from a 7075 T6 aluminum, has a hard anodized finish, which is a signature of Trijicon. The sight without the mount weighs 5.1 ounces. The mount by itself weighs 1.8 ounces. So we're looking at about 7 ounces, just under 7 ounce total. That includes the battery. Now the length of the Patrol is 4.1 inches, including the battery caps. The regular standard MRO is about 2.5 inches. So it's a considerable difference between the two, but of course you are getting all these features. One of the things about this mount, by itself you can order this on Brownells. I think they're $124. So between that and the other accessories, it does drive the price up somewhat over your standard MRO. Now as far as windage and adjustment, you have your windage here and your elevation on top. This can be done, of course, with a small screwdriver, a coin, or the rim of your cartridge. I'm going to let you hear the clicks. It's quarter MOA adjustment, and it's 70 MOA total. So you've got a lot of range to be able to get sighted in. I like that they're recessed, but yet they're accessible. That way in the field I don't have to take the lens covers on and off. It makes it really simple. Your illumination dial is right here on top. Also the windage and elevation dials are also very clearly visible. The battery cap is on top, and you can use a coin or obviously, like I'm doing here, a screwdriver. It has one of the 2032 batteries, lithium batteries. These are common. They're teeth that run all the way around. One of the things that Trijicon did a little differently is they installed this battery when it comes from the factory. The originals did not. You had to insert it. And a lot of people were breaking off these small little fingers, which really, you just need to be careful and not rush it, and you shouldn't have any problems. You want to make sure though that you get it good and closed, because this is also waterproof. One thing about the battery is it will go for 5 years with continual use on the 3 setting. And so you can pick it up at any time. That's more of an indoor setting. It is bright enough to see. In fact, I can even see it in daylight. Now we have 4 daylight settings. We have the off. We have 2 low light settings. And then we have 2 night vision settings. So there are 8 different settings for this. I really like that the off position is in between, because I can go from just leaving it on to my 3. Then if I need to bump it up in bright sunlight, I can raise it up to 6. 6 is extremely bright. In fact, I very rarely use it. I usually pop it down to 5 or 4, even in bright sunlight. But for the night vision compatibility, that's really good. Most of your standard economy or budget sites will not have your night vision settings. You have to intentionally turn this to get it to turn, which I really like. That way it's not going to get bumped. But it's easy enough to do. Now, one thing about a premium optic with really good glass is that the glass is what makes it so expensive. One thing about glass is the less imperfections you have, the better the visibility. And the clearer the glass, the more you're going to be able to distinguish detail. You have contrast. I mean, it makes a huge difference. You can really see your target a lot clearer with good glass, whether it's going with something like the MRO or even the Aimpoint T1 or T2. That glass is just extremely excellent. And of course, they're built like tanks, so they'll take a lot of abuse. It's been tested to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit all the way to 160 degrees Fahrenheit and still functions well. One thing that the MRO is known for is a little bit of a blue tint through the lens. It's there. It's not a lot, but you can definitely see it. Some people will complain about that because, you know, they say that when you're looking with both eyes open, it kind of gives you a little bit of a blue tint. I haven't seen that it causes any kind of issues with me as far as with shooting. Now, one of the things too is right around the very edge of the lens, there'll be a tiny bit of distortion, very small. You have to really look for it to see it, but it's there. On the 6th setting, you're going to have a little bit of reflection, as you can see, right around the rim. The camera's exaggerating it a little bit, but there is definitely a little reflection on the 6th setting and also on the 5 setting. I have heard that there is a slight amount of magnification with this sight because of the size, but I can't really substantiate it. I tried to check to see, but I just didn't pick up anything. So if there is something, it's very minute. But one thing's for certain is hitting targets out to 300 yards is no problem with this sight. Once you have it sighted in, you can go from 1 to 2 to 300 yards, no problem. But this sight was also designed for those up close and personal engagements, so it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. And I want to thank Freedom Munitions for sponsoring the ammo. They give a 5% discount using SUIT00 at freedommunitions.com. Guys, this is Trijicon quality, so there's no surprises really at the range. The glass is clear, does have a slight blue tint like we've talked about, but the detail is really easy to pick up, and the contrast. That's one of the things about Trijicon glass that I like. The larger objective lens definitely helps over most of your small little 20mm red dots. It's about a 20% increase in size, and it definitely shows itself at the range. Being able to get 1, 2, 300 yard shots, no problem. The mount puts it at a great level for that 1/3 co-witness. It doesn't get it too high, and it's small, and I really like that you're able to take this on and off and still retain zero pretty easily. It's not the quick detach lever, but that little knob makes it easy to take on and off. The windage and elevation turrets are exposed, but yet they're protected. And you can take your 5.56 shell or even a 7.6 2x39 and you can adjust this to wherever you want. It's tactile and it's audible. So it's really nice. Also, with this turret right there in front of you, you know what setting you're on. It's not necessarily to the side, it's just right up front, which makes it ambidextrous. The kill flash is definitely going to help with reflection, and it'll also help with glare for the shooter. So it works both ways. It does dim the sight just a touch, but it's well worth it in bright sunlight. If you're in low light situations, you can just remove it. The great thing is with red dots is that you have infinite eye relief. Wherever you want to put it on your rifle, you'll be able to see the red dot. You can see the area around it. You can shoot with both eyes open, which these were designed for that, which really helps a lot with your peripheral vision and eye fatigue and things like that. They are parallax free, so that means that wherever you look through the scope, the red dot should be on target if the sight is sighted in. So that really is nice. A lot of optics are parallax free, which, you know, you can bring your rifle up really quickly and be able to, wherever you see the dot, that's where it's going to hit. It's also marked 1 click equals a half MOA, and then patent pending. We have our Trijicon right here. On the other side, we have made in the USA, and then we have PSA 1828, which is Psalms 1828. Which Trijicon is a Christian company, and they have been putting these Bible verses on their optics from the beginning. Many of you have seen the video where I talked about the reference and then Nightline got a hold of it and started talking about Jesus scopes, and the U.S. military made him remove the Bible verse for those scopes that were under contract. They do have the option now to where you can get it with it or without it. It's your choice. Now we have one of the Aimpoint T2s here. In fact, Aimpoint kind of ruled the red dot market for a number of years, and really the first sight that's really kind of challenged that is the MRO. One of the things about the MRO that I like better is a 25mm objective lens, whereas your Aimpoint just has a 20mm objective lens. It's a 20% difference, and it really makes a difference out at the range, especially once you start shooting the MRO. It gives you much better field of view. It looks like you're looking through a scope rather than a small red dot, like you do with the T2. Now, I'm a big fan of the T2, and if you use them a lot, you know, it's fine. They work extremely well. The glass is super clear. But I really have favored the MRO over the T2 or the T1. They both have the 50,000 hour or 5-year battery life, which makes it nice as well. Either choice would be good, but I think that the MRO gives you a little more objective, a little more field of view, and easier to grab that dot. With the T1, it's a little smaller on your rifle, which is a plus. So, you know, that is one thing to consider. But I think that looking through the MRO, it makes a world of difference. Also, with the Trijicon, you have the adjustments on top, whereas with the Aimpoint, it's right here on the side. And then you have your adjustment caps here, so you'll have to remove them even though they're recessed, and it makes it nice. I like being able to get right to my adjustments very easily without removing those caps. Now, one big difference between the Aimpoints and the Trijicon MRO are the price. The T2s run typically about $700 or so, and then you've got your MROs, which are running under the $500 mark. So it gives you a pretty good difference in price. Now, there are options where you can get quick detach mounts, just like this kinetic slide lock mount, which I really like. But now that the Patrol is out and they have their own QD system, this gets the price up to close to where the T2 is. In fact, the Trijicon Patrol with this mount runs $781. The T2 without this mount runs $719. So, you know, you're getting a lot of features with the MRO Patrol, actually surpassing a lot of the features on the Aimpoint. So it's just a matter of, you know, what you're looking for. Both of them are super quality scopes. If you want to go for a little less, of course, the standard MRO is excellent. If you don't really care about the flip covers and the quick detach mount and the kill flash, you know, this is an excellent optic in itself. And pretty much what you have here, just with a lot of accessories. But there are a lot of guys that have been using the Aimpoints for many years, and I'm certainly not going to bash Aimpoints. They're excellent. In fact, I have one, and they're just good, solid red dot sights. And you can find a lot of different accessories on the Brownells website. And I want to thank Brownells for sending the MRO Patrol for this test and evaluation. I'll have the links down below. This model in particular is $781.99. And again, you can get the standard MRO for $493 without a mount. So there are different options in between these two. So if you're really looking for an excellent red dot, high quality sight, the Trijicon MRO is a great option. And another big thing that Trijicon has going for it is they're made in the USA. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. That wind, though, that wind. The ACOG has been in service with the U.S. military for decades now. I don't know if it's decades. It's been tested with mining, and you can find a lot of different things for